what people need in order to do their job should be at human scale. I believe this is one of the fundamental tasks of an organization, to make sure that what people need in order to do their job is at human scale. What do I mean by that? Take a small organization, for example, a food truck with 3 people working inside. Everybody understands what's going on. Everybody understands what everybody else is doing. They realize, when they're getting stressed because they're running out of some produce, or because they have a lot of special orders and so on. Even if the guy who's usually not working the till, for example, he knows what's going on and how you do that. You could step in any time. So you have a lot of redundancies in the way people perceive the work, even if they're a little bit specialized in what they do usually. Now, as soon as the organization becomes bigger and you have a division of labor, that actually becomes an issue. If everybody needs to understand everything about what's going on at everybody else's place, then nobody will have the time to get any real work done. And that's the problem. And so this oblique strategy invites you to keep an eye on that. And especially when we change the way we are organized, we tend to forget about that. So where is the task of making sure that we are organized in the right way? And how many people are involved in that, and how much time is taken to make sure that this is happening? Especially now, you have a lot of intents of self-organization, some more structured like holacracy and so on, but sometimes also less structured. I remember a client who simply said, I've delegated that into self-organization. And the question is, does that mean that then in the self-organization it happens with sufficiently little effort, or does it absorb a lot of the resources that this organization actually has, which then cannot be put to use for the productive job? Think about, one of the biggest forms of self-organization that we have in states, democracy. Democracy is a lot about delegating tasks of making sure how we are organized. If I think, as a friend of mine usually jokingly says, if I think that the adequacy of that parking ticket that I got last week should be discussed at a nationwide level by everybody, well, I won't get through with that, because we can't spend the time on everybody's parking tickets. So that's why we've delegated some powers to government, to police, and so on. And the same thing in the way we are organized. If the key question to ask here is really how much effort, how much time do we want to invest into this question of understanding everything else, understanding strategy, understanding the business model, understanding obligations versus towards investors, for example. And so people with that knowledge can do their job better. That's good. But if that time that they spend getting all this information, understanding everything about the context, if that time gets too much, then people will not be efficient anymore. And unfortunately, I have seen quite a few experiments in self-organization, holacracy, sociocracy, where that was actually the problem, that the productivity of the whole organization suffered so much that they had to abandon the experiment.